Before 1993, no one thought it was possible. The world's best climbers had tried and failed, but then a small woman with incredible strength and determination stepped up to the challenge. Against all expectations, Lynn Hill became the first human to free climb the nose on El Capitan. For decades, rock climbing was seen as a man's sport, dominated by strength, endurance, and bold risk-taking. The toughest routes, the highest peaks, the most daring ascents had all been claimed by men. But in 1993, one woman shattered that belief forever. Lynn Hill wasn't just a great climber, she was a pioneer, a game changer, and a living legend. She didn't just keep up with the best, she surpassed them. At just 5'2" and weighing barely 100 pounds, she achieved what no climber, male or female, had ever done before, which is the first free ascent of the nose on El Capitan, Yosemite's most famous and difficult rock face. But her journey to the top was anything but easy. From her early days climbing trees as a child to becoming the strongest female climber of her era, Lynn Hill proved that technique, intelligence, and pure determination could overcome brute strength. This is the story of Lynn Hill, the woman who changed climbing forever. Lynn Hill was born on January 3, 1961 in Detroit, Michigan as the fifth of 7 children in a big, energetic family. From the very beginning, she was surrounded by movement, adventure, and competition. In a household full of siblings, there was always someone to race or challenge. Even as a child, Lynn had a natural gift for athletics. She was fearless, strong, and incredibly coordinated. Gymnastics, running, and other sports came easily to her. She could flip, jump, and balance with precision, skills that would later become crucial in her climbing career. But at the time, climbing wasn't even on her radar. That changed when her family moved from Michigan to Southern California. The move exposed her to an entirely new environment, one filled with rocky landscapes, towering cliffs, and endless outdoor adventures. Then, at age 14, Lynn had her first introduction to rock climbing. Her older brother, who had taken up climbing as a hobby, invited her to join him on a trip. Most 14-year-olds might have hesitated, but not Lynn. Always up for a challenge, she put on a harness, grabbed the rock, and started climbing. What happened next changed her life forever. From the very first time her fingers gripped the rough surface of the rock, she felt something click. She wasn't just good at climbing, she was exceptional. Her gymnastics background gave her an incredible sense of balance, body control, and flexibility, allowing her to move across the rock with ease. While others struggled, Lynn seemed to dance her way up the wall. It didn't take long for her to realize this wasn't just a hobby, it was a passion. Something inside told her this is where she belonged, and from that moment on, Lynn Hill was a climber. But no one could have predicted just how far she would go. By the late 1970s, Lynn had already made a name for herself in the climbing world. While many climbers spent years perfecting their technique, Lynn's combination of raw talent, determination, and fearlessness propelled her to the top levels of the sport in record time. She wasn't just competing with other women, she was climbing at the same elite level as the best male climbers of her era. Then, in 1979, she shattered expectations. At a time when climbing was still a male-dominated sport, Lynn became the first woman to successfully climb a 512D route, a groundbreaking achievement that proved women could push the limits of climbing just as hard as men. This wasn't just a personal victory, this was a moment that forced the climbing world to take notice. Lynn continued pushing boundaries, climbing tougher and tougher routes, and gaining recognition as one of the strongest climbers of her generation. But her journey wasn't just about breaking records, it was about discovering new challenges. In 1986, while visiting France, Lynn was introduced to the world of competitive climbing. At the time, organized climbing competitions were still in their early days, but she saw potential. The idea of testing herself against other elite climbers in a structured format intrigued her, and once she stepped into the competitive scene, she completely dominated. For the next 6 years, Lynn was nearly unbeatable. She won more than 30 international titles, proving that she wasn't just a great climber, she was a legend in the making. Whether it was indoor competitions or outdoor routes, she approached every challenge with the same level of precision, strength, and mental toughness. But Lynn wasn't satisfied with just winning competitions. She wanted something more, something bigger, and soon she would take on a climb that would cement her place in history forever. By the early 1990s, Lynn had already achieved what many climbers could only dream of, but in 1993 she set her sights on an entirely new challenge, one that would redefine what was possible in the sport of climbing. Her goal? Free climbing the nose, a legendary route on El Capitan, the towering 3,000-foot granite wall in Yosemite National Park. Climbers had completed it using aid climbing, a technique where they rely on hanging on ropes, ladders, and gear to assist their ascent. But no one had ever free climbed the entire route, meaning no artificial aid, only using hands and feet to grip the rock. rock, with ropes used purely for safety in case of a fall. Many believed the nose was too difficult to free climb. It had overhanging sections, razor-thin holds, and a brutal mix of crack and face climbing that required extreme endurance and technical mastery. Even the best climbers of the time doubted it could be done. But Lynn wasn't like other climbers. She had already pushed the limits of difficulty, and now she was ready to take on one of the greatest climbing challenges in history. Lynn knew that free climbing the nose wasn't just about physical strength. It was about strategy, problem solving, and mental toughness. She spent time studying the route, breaking it down into sections, and identifying the hardest parts. Some of the most challenging parts include the Great Roof, a section with almost no footholds requiring insane finger strength and delicate movements, changing corners, one of the toughest sequences demanding absolute precision to transition between cracks, and the final push. The sheer exhaustion from many days of climbing make even the easier sections seem incredibly hard. She trained relentlessly, honing her crack climbing skills, improving her endurance, and mentally preparing herself for the extreme difficulty ahead. In September 1993, Lynn and her climbing partner Brooke Sandel began their historic attempt. Unlike traditional big wall climbers who relied on aid, Hill would free climb each pitch, meaning every move had to be executed with pure climbing skill and precision. The first few days were about problem solving of the nose, navigating difficult holds, conserving energy, and staying mentally focused. But the real challenge came when she reached the Great Roof. The Great Roof was one of the most intimidating obstacles on the entire climb. It was a sweeping, near-horizontal section of rock with almost no visible holds. To make it through, Hill had to use finger locks, inserting just the tips of her fingers into thin cracks while her feet smeared against the smooth rock. Her hands started to shake from fatigue, but she stayed calm, breathing deeply, moving with precision. She knew a single slip could mean failure. Slowly, she worked her way across the roof, delicately shifting her weight, pressing her toes against the tiniest nubs of rock. And then, it happened. She stuck the final move, pulled herself over the roof, and let out a deep breath. She had just conquered one of the hardest sections in climbing history. The climb wasn't over yet. She still had to make it past the changing corners pitch, another near impossible sequence requiring near perfect balance and technique. By this point, her fingers were raw, her muscles ached, and her mental energy was drained. But she refused to quit. With one last burst of determination, Hill pushed through the final crux, maneuvering her body in ways that no one ever attempted before. After 4 grueling days, on September 19, 1993, Lynn Hill became the first person in history to free climb the nose. The climbing world was in disbelief. Not only had Hill done something no one thought was possible, she had beaten every top climber, man or woman, to the achievement. She had written climbing history. And just to prove that her success was no fluke, she returned in 1994, and this time she free climbed the nose in less than 24 hours. It was a performance that shattered every expectation of human ability and solidified Lynn Hill as one of the greatest climbers of all time. Aside from the nose, Lynn has pushed the boundaries of the sport in every way she can. In 1991, she became the first woman to climb a route graded 514, 3 years before any other woman achieved the same feat. Beyond climbing, Lynn has shared her experiences through writing. Her autobiography, Climbing Free, offers insights into her life and the world of climbing. Even decades after her groundbreaking ascent of the nose, Lynn Hill remains a towering figure in the world of climbing. Her legacy is not just about the records she set, but about the barriers she broke and the inspiration she continues to provide. Today, Lynn Hill lives in Boulder, Colorado, a place known for its world-class climbing and outdoor culture. She shares her life with her son, Owen, balancing motherhood with her passion for the mountains. Despite having achieved what many consider the pinnacle of climbing success, she never stopped pushing herself or the sport forward. Even now, Lynn continues to climb regularly, often exploring new routes and revisiting the classics. While she may not be chasing first ascents as she did when she was younger, her technical skill, ability, and deep love for the rock remain as strong as ever. Beyond climbing, she has become a mentor and a teacher, offering guidance to new generations of climbers. She regularly hosts clinics, gives lectures, and shares her experiences to help others improve both their physical technique and mental approach to the sport. Lynn Hill's career has been a powerful statement against gender barriers in extreme sports. She wasn't just the best female climber of her era, she was one of the best climbers, period. Today, she continues to advocate for women's representation in climbing, encouraging young females to step into the sport with confidence. She has spoken out about the importance of equal opportunities, fair sponsorships, and better support for women in outdoor sports. In addition to climbing, Hill has expanded her influence in various ways. In 2002, she released her memoir, Climbing Free: My Life in the Vertical World, where she detailed her journey, challenges, and achievements. She travels the world giving motivational talks about resilience, determination, and breaking through limitations. She has worked with outdoor brands, consulted on climbing gear design, and remains deeply involved in the industry. Even after all these years, Lynn Hill remains a force of nature, not just as a climber, but as a pioneer, mentor, and leader in the outdoor community. Her legacy isn't just about the records she set, but about the way she has changed the sport forever. And whether she's on stage, teaching a class, or scaling a cliff, one thing is clear: Lynn Hill will always be climbing free. Lynn Hill's journey is more than just a story of athletic achievement. It is a testament to passion, perseverance, and the power of defying limits. From her early days as a young gymnast to revolutionizing the world of climbing, she has consistently pushed boundaries and redefined what is possible. Her groundbreaking ascent of the nose on El Capitan was not just a personal triumph, it was a moment that reshaped the sport. She proved that skill, strategy, and determination could surpass traditional expectations, inspiring climbers of all genders to dream bigger and climb harder. Beyond her personal achievements, Lynn Hill's impact extends to mentorship, advocacy, and education. She continues to teach, speak, and lead, ensuring the future generations of climbers are equipped not just with technical skills, but with the mindset to overcome challenges and reach new heights. Lynn Hill's legacy is one of fearlessness and inspiration. She has shown the world that with courage, dedication, and the refusal to accept limits, anything is possible. As long as there are mountains to climb, her influence will continue to reach new peaks, inspiring adventurers around the world to embrace the challenge and climb free. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to support our content and rep some awesome gear, check out the Outdoor Origins store. You can find the link in the pinned comment below. While you're there, make sure to check out the Climbing with Bigfoot tee. Every purchase helps us continue creating high quality content for you. And since you're still here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks again for being a part of this community, and we'll see you in the next one.